Drink Cinema! Cheers.
Welcome to Two Drink Cinema. We are 2 out of 3 brothers reviewing movies 2 drinks at a time. Hello, Brett.
Hello. Hello, how are you?
I'm high. Say hi.
So high you almost touched the sky?
Almost touched the
Almost
sky.
touched the sky. Thank you. Thank you.
Once in a lifetime, you make a friend that lasts forever.
Oh, on and off via letters. Yep.
Yep, until they die.
Give and share a man.
Yeah. We are reviewing Beaches from 1988. It is 35 years since the iconic song was released and the movie that goes along with it and is occasionally remembered as referenced in the song.
Yes.
Let's have a drink.
Yes, I created another one based on a couple of cocktails. Look, she drinks a stinger in the movie.
Yeah.
Couldn't find the ingredients. So
it also sounds terrible.
It does. If this could be shit as well. If anybody has some white creme de menthe or some cognac lying around, let me know. But I didn't want to buy either of them, so I've done something a little bit cheeky. This is the combination of two cocktails kind of mixed together.
Yep.
A sex on the beach.
Oh yeah.
And a red death. So I'm calling it a death on the beach.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, sorry, Barb.
Ouch. Or Hillary.
Poor Hillary, bitch.
It's,
yes, so it has in it vodka, peach schnapps, cranberry juice, and some white sparkling wine. It looks quite...
pink?
Yeah.
But not strong.
Let's have a taste.
In colour.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Oh.
We've had the same reaction.
That tastes more like medicine than last week.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've ruined some good ingredients there. Look.
Oh.
Oh, no, that's bad.
Oh.
Brett, what have you done?
It's the sparkling.
It's the sparkling.
Yeah, it's the mix of the sparkling and the cranberry, I think. You know what I like about this?
Nope.
You know what I like
bad.
about this
That's
cranberry
really bad.
juice?
Yep.
Is it says Bickford's cranberry fruit drink, high in antioxidants, nothing artificial, but it has a 0.5 health star rating.
Oh,
Good try, Bickford's.
Bickford's. And it has no preservatives, but you can leave it in the fridge for a year.
Yeah, as we have done on occasion.
So that's shit. I don't know if I'll drink that.
I don't.
That's quite
either.
bad.
Shall I go to the fridge and get one of those ones that's left over from 2 out of 3 recommend?
That's all right. Look,
Let's talk about
it was
the
an experiment that went wrong.
story of Beaches. Bette Midler and Barbara Hershey.
Yes.
From 35 years ago, iconic song and an iconic movie. One of our oldest friends was devastated when I told her I hadn't watched it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I could have gone the rest of my life without watching it.
Wow.
It's very...
It's not much, is it?
It's very interesting that this is 1988 and then her singing at the start at the Hollywood Bowl is very, very produced for a rehearsal/sound check.
Yeah.
Like, it's perfect sounding vocals.
It's Bette Midler, Lee.
Yeah, no, she's not. It's heavily produced vocals. Anyway.
Then it can be on the soundtrack.
But those couple of scenes do set up well that she is famous. She's at the Hollywood Bowl, number one.
She's sold out.
And then she has a limo and an assistant, and the airlines are trying really hard to look after her. And then the rental car guy is a fan.
Yeah.
If she's at the Hollywood Bowl, she's flying from LA to San Francisco. I would have thought you could just get your limo to drive you there.
Well, that was a bit confusing for me, I will say.
LA,
I don't know.
I only
really.
just thought of it now. It's only a 6-hour drive.
I would have just driven straight there. I said, "Hey, Larry, whatever the taxi limo driver's name is, go straight there."
The flight time is 1 hour 25. So it probably would have
Well, it's
taken
quicker.
her an hour to drive to LAX,
That's true.
get through TSA. It's 1988, so TSA then wasn't what it is now.
She doesn't have anything with her, though.
That's true. Then to find a ticket, buy a ticket, get on, get to San Fran, get a car to drive her to outside San Francisco, as we learn. She was where she lives. Do you know what I mean? Just drive
She was
there.
in the hospital.
Yeah, just drive there, though.
Yeah.
5 hours. Speed, the cop's probably a fan of her.
Yeah, well, I think that's how she got up. Because at one stage she did get pulled over, but then you never saw anything.
Yeah, she got pulled over, but she didn't get pulled over. Anyway,
That's the glory of love, I guess.
we flash back from her renting a car. We don't know why she's left.
It's just an emergency.
Yeah, but we flash back to Mayim Bialik with red hair,
Yeah.
hiding like a troll under the seats.
Why do they keep her in the shadows under the dock and not show her face? That was the first thing I wrote on this thing.
I wrote, why do they make her look like a troll?
It was very strange.
And I get that, like, they maybe wanted to hold back the reveal of how much she does look like a young Bette Midler. But
We
gotta
know,
know.
that she's going to look like that.
got to know it's a young Bette Midler.
Yeah.
From the voice, from the whole thing. Maybe it's the fact that she's in the costume that they're holding back.
I don't know.
But still, it makes her look like a troll under the bridge that if I was Hillary, I would not have talked to.
She didn't have a choice. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's warming on me.
She had no one to talk to. But Mayim Bialik does a very good job of playing a young Bette Midler. Mm-hmm. She's quite good. And the casting of her mum is great.
Oh, yeah.
She's like
Lainey
a-
Kazan.
She's like a 75% Bette Midler without the talent, but with the stage mum persona.
Oh, yeah.
We have... Yeah, so they get very quickly separated.
They're friends, yeah.
But they're friends straight away.
Because kids, that's what happened to kids. When you
Yeah.
made friends when you were on holiday, and then you never saw them again, and you keep in touch via letters. Nowadays, maybe TikTok.
You saw them every summer.
Yeah.
But this seems to be a one-off because they're moving away from Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And their letters cover 10 years in about 2 letters.
Uh-huh.
So they go from Mayim Bialik, who is in one scene, I think, made to look a little bit taller, and then she's Bette Midler, which happens very quickly. But that happens throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And it's one of those drama movies where the movie... And this is what I think they've done well. I don't want people to think I think it's a bad movie.
Yep. Okay.
But I don't say it's
Maybe-
a movie that you have to have seen.
If you don't think it's a bad movie, maybe you could say something good about it.
Yeah, no, I'm about to. But I realised, I said with my opening, I could have gone my life without having seen it.
Okay. Yes.
It's a good movie, but I don't think it's a you have to have seen this movie.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So what they do very well is it's one of those drama movies where it's not about stuff happening, but it's about something.
Yes.
And that something is obviously friendship.
Yes, it is.
And so
And something about beaches.
they do this connection over the letters and they become friends.
Yep.
And there's always this interesting thing about the level of their friendship is that they both think of each other as really close friends, but then there's quite a few moments throughout the movie where they really don't know that much about each other.
Yeah.
Like
that's
when they
true.
live together, they're like, she's like, are you always like this?
Yeah.
Which is like, they don't know actually what each other are actually like. They just know a few things that they've done in the last 10 years of writing letters to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So they get separated at the start, and then she leaves her family. Barbara Hershey leaves her family and moves to New York and ends up living in the shitty apartment with Bette before Bette is famous. And then that brings them a little bit closer together. And then the paths their trajectories cross over from law student to protester and from struggling to audition to first
Famous
off-Broadway musical.
Yeah.
Which is an odd, very off-Broadway weird thing. Directed by and written by John Hurd.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very strange.
It is very strange, but I think it's meant to be very strange in that off-Broadway commentary on whatever thing.
Industry.
Oh,
industry.
Why wasn't that released as the single?
It could have won an Oscar.
Yeah.
I mean,
could have been a number one hit, and we wouldn't even be talking about Wind Beneath My Wings.
no.
It's very obvious that there is going to be a falling out over John Hurd. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but up until that point, I've skipped over a couple of things. There's a couple of very good ways in which they show the differences between their characters. So, Barbara Hershey, Hillary, leaves her set-up life, but then pretty much straight away gets a job in New York.
Yeah, she's at the ACLU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of being like, well, if you went to college and got a degree, you'd have work, Bette. That goes kind of against, she's still struggling with auditions.
Yeah.
And then even when it's she's a big thing, Hillary gets the man.
Yeah.
They show
She's better looking.
well how Bette is struggling because she doesn't get auditions. She sings the song that we know she sings well from the opening, The Glory of Love, and not the Peter Cetera version. And then she has to do the singing telegram stuff, which is the lowest of lows for a singer.
Especially dressed up as a rabbit.
Yeah. Then, the Hillary and John hooking up drives the first wedge between them. Mm-hmm. And they have a fight. But then she has to leave because her daddy's sick.
Yeah.
So she has to go back home, look after my plants, and the plants become a representation of their friendship.
They do. It's what they call a metaphor.
Yeah. And the plants die as their friendship is growing weaker and they are less connected.
Yes. Like the plants need water to grow. So does their friendship.
Yeah.
Hence why they're always at the beach, because that's where the water is.
That's where the water
Thank
is.
you.
Yeah. But do not feed your plants with salt water.
No.
Okay.
Although if you saw a couple of plants in Lee's house, you wouldn't be taking his advice.
I only have the remains of one. Okay?
Yes.
Right. But while the lack of connection or the connection between Bette and Barbara is worsening, the connection with Bette and John is increasing.
Yeah. Okay. I find this weird.
Yeah.
Even though Bette always had a thing for John,
Yes.
and John knew that.
Yes.
Even though then he slept with her best friend.
Can I also say, I like John Hurd, but the best looking man I've ever seen?
Nope.
Barbara Hershey, you went to law school. I'm sure there are better looking men in law school
Yes.
than John Hurd.
Also, she's been in
Rich people.
like a place with people in it. So I'm sure, not that John Hurd is ugly,
Yeah.
but
But
yeah.
you could walk down the street in New York and see very good looking people.
Yeah.
And San Francisco. There are good looking people in San Francisco. I've been there twice.
Maybe
Name
she's
drop.
looking at the wrong part of it.
Yeah.
I never liked that, and then they got married.
A
Very
marriage
abruptly.
of convenience.
They married very quickly, and for some reason, the guy doing the wedding was in a neck brace.
I wrote that. I'm
And it was never
what?
explained. Why are you in
Yeah,
a neck
why?
brace, Hector Elizondo?
Yeah. What? was Hector Elizondo in a neck brace? And they're like, fuck it, whatever.
Yep, I just don't understand. But then, like, explain to me.
I'm going to Google it. Neck brace in Beaches, Hector Elizondo. That's probably not how you spell it.
No, it doesn't sound like
Oh,
it.
Hector Elizondo is how it's spelt. Anyway, so yeah, they get married because, well, I think it goes into Bette wanting a perfect ideal life and success, and marriage is part of success.
Yes.
In one of Hilary's letters to Bette, though, she says, "Don't be seduced by the money of Broadway." And that, to me, shows a bit of another, like, you don't understand your friend.
No, she's got money.
But Cece is all about performing in front of people.
Yeah, but
It's never been, from my reading of Cece, it was never about the art
No.
for Cece. It was always
Yeah,
about
okay.
the performing.
yeah.
So that to me says that Hillary has very different ideas of art versus success, but also not such a good idea of why Cece's doing these things.
Yeah.
Like,
She doesn't understand Cece.
no.
I don't think they quite understand each other.
I wrote, different lives, good friends, stuff happens, friendship survives.
Friendship survives, but not all of the friends do.
Not Hillary. Or her dad.
Or her mum.
Then the distance between their friendship increases, and you can see in the letters that they're holding stuff back from each other.
Yeah.
Like when Hillary asks Cece if she sees much of John, and they've gotten married without telling her. Why does the guy marrying them have a neck brace?
Yeah, she doesn't mention that in the letter.
No. And we get a moment in the now time
Yeah.
of her driving to San Francisco where she gets pulled over. Then we just go back to the
Yeah,
old
and
time.
she pulls over, and then
we cut back
but
to
the memory
past.
wasn't about a police officer. Like, you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Like, it had
No.
no connection for me whatsoever.
The Broadway show that she does star in is fun.
The
Vulgar.
titsling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
vulgar, but fun.
Do you wear a titsling? Or do you wear a brazie?
And that shows, I think, Bette Midler's range as a musical star.
Yeah.
Like, her acting range isn't amazing.
Yeah, okay.
Like, when she's meant to be sad, angry later in the disco, not great.
Yes, yeah.
But when she goes from, like, singing her sound check song at Hollywood Bowl to singing the song about industry to singing Titsling to then later singing Wind Beneath My Wings and then Glory of Love.
Yeah.
That range as a musical person
Yes.
is quite highlighted in this show. So she's got what she wants, Cece. Now she's the Broadway star and she's got lots of money and unnecessary portraits of herself in her apartment. And
That's how you know you've made it.
yeah. But Hillary now has gone the other way and it hasn't got what she wants, and she is now the kept wife, and everything about her is decided by the man, which what she was complaining about earlier. Everything in her life was decided by her father. And that's when they turn full bitch on each other.
Oh, is it in the store? With
Yes.
Betty Spaghetti? Yeah,
Yes.
it is. Yeah.
Marriage of convenience is the bitchiest line in the whole thing. You're just jealous of my success. You're just jealous of new money gets thrown around in there as well. And then, yes, the marriage of convenience and the fight has to happen for story and for trope reasons. So then they stop communicating. Bette still writes letters.
Yeah.
But Hillary doesn't read them.
Hillary doesn't open them, even though Hillary was the worst of the two.
But also, we can still see that Hillary regrets the fight, but she's not strong enough emotionally to deal with it, which she admits when she comes back to the disco.
Yes.
Because after her husband has an affair and she kicks
And
him
she's
out.
gotten fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she kicks him out. I don't know if it's her auntie or her maid, tells her that her singer friend is at a nightclub in San Francisco.
Well, I think that was her maid, but then there's also that Arnie that's around. Like she
That
was
was
at the
from the
start,
very start,
and then when
yeah.
she's sick in the hospital.
Yeah, that.
The auntie's just there when she needs to be, but not there that often.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So I'm jumping around a bit, but the kind of story does as well, in terms of just giving us bits and pieces of stuff that happened through their lives within the context of them growing and changing as people and their friendship growing and changing. Because we also get the scene of when Cece leaves John to go to her mother, and her mother, brutal.
Oh,
You wore everyone out.
Yeah.
No one can give you any more attention because you need so much attention.
I moved to Miami to get away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Brutal.
like that episode of Seinfeld I watched recently where George wants his parents to get away from him. It's the other way around.
Yep. So that happened, and then they get divorced anyway, Bette
Yeah.
and John, as do Hillary and the man I don't know the name of, because he's a minor, really, character.
Yep, forgot.
They meet back together at the disco, and I'm very glad that that's not a very easy reunion.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Hug, hug, stinger, stinger. Let's move into an apartment together.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a fight, and then a bit more of a fight, and then Hillary admitting that she's not strong enough to have dealt with it properly.
Yeah.
And then another couple of bitchy comments because they're ladies that are friends, so there's always going to be bitchy comments.
Of course.
Not generalising, my apologies, anybody listening. I did like that just by making Bette's hair a bit bigger is the device to make her look older,
Yep.
and that years have passed. So
Her hair at the start is quite large. And then they do this kind of reveal-y thing
yeah.
at the Hollywood
Which
Bowl.
I
It's
think
like
is
the back of the head
unnecessary.
and then turn around and it's like everybody was going to go, oh my God, it's Bette Midler.
Oh, it's Bette Midler, the woman that's on the fucking poster and
The one's
plays a
on the
singer
fucking poster
in
and
this.
has that hair.
Yeah, and has that hair and plays a singer in every movie that she is in.
Yeah.
Except Hocus Pocus, although she does sing
She
in
does
Hocus
sing in
Pocus.
that. Outrageous Fortune. She doesn't sing.
No, she's an actress. She
She's an
meets
actress.
Shelley Long at an audition.
Yeah, but she's not a singer.
she wants to be.
She wants to be a fucking actress.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, hey, I think I want to be an actress. Anyway, continue.
All right. There's not much more to continue
Should we
because
just watch Outrageous Fortune
the
again.
rest, I didn't write much notes on the rest because she has the baby.
Yep.
And there's funny bits of Bette not wanting to be in the delivery room and then Bette fainting.
Yeah.
And which
And
gives
everybody
us,
worrying about her instead.
Which
Yeah.
gives us another moment of Barbara Hershey being a little bit jealous of her famous friend.
Uh-huh.
But then she has the baby and she doesn't name the baby after her friend, her best friend ever,
It's
Cece.
a middle name. Victoria Cecilia.
Yes. And then
Her
the
only friend as
girl
well.
grows up to be a spoilt brat.
Of course.
And hopefully in Beaches too,
Mm.
Bette brings her down a couple of pegs.
Maybe she's a stage mum.
Yeah, could be.
Mm.
I've got a comment to make about their singing, but we'll come back to that shortly. That's actually in Worst Lines.
Singing?
I've got something. No, I've got something that
Okay.
remember. So then she dies. Spoiler alert. Which, if you know that, if you don't know by now,
You meant to know that. I was trying to think back in the day. Did people know that going in? Or were they just there to see like a light-hearted movie with Bette Midler and kind of Barbara Hershey in it as well?
I think they were there for a Barbara Hershey, Bette Midler dramedy
Yeah.
about friendship,
But they didn't
know the death. I thought it was the cancer.
No, it was myocardial infarction.
Yeah, viral.
Viral encephalopathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy the other day and somebody had that as well.
Oh, wow. Was it Barbara Hershey?
No, it was a kid.
Did they die?
No, they got a transplant because transplants happen really quickly. Anyway.
So there is a bit of clash between Bette and the daughter, which is really Bette, the daughter being another representation of Hillary.
Yes.
But then
But sassier.
they spend a good summer together, and this is probably the slowest section of the movie in terms of the most stuff happening in one period of time.
Yeah.
Because we get to the pinnacle of the friendship, and that's when they're at their closest. And you can see a lot of Barbara Hershey obviously thinking about leaving the daughter with Bette.
Yeah.
When she dies. And then she does...
When they're dancing on the beach.
Yeah, and then she does die, and The Wind Beneath My Wings happens. And The Wind Beneath My Wings is not as nicely vocally produced as the other songs. It's a bit more raw for emotional purposes, I think. Yeah?
Oh, no, that's in the net.
And then they get the concert, and then there is the Glory of Love.
Yeah.
A nice version. And so that's it. I think it's a very well-made movie. I like that it's, like I said, a drama where stuff happens, and it's not about the stuff, it's about the message of friendship. The letters are a very good device of keeping the audience updated on the progress of their lives, and then we just check in at them at key moments where their paths cross. So we don't need all these scenes of, like, Hillary going to law school or all of these failed auditions for Bette, blah, 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 blah. We just get bits and pieces of letters, and then we just get the key moments where they spend together.
What are your thoughts on her getting quickly engaged to that doctor? Bette.
It makes sense for her character, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, got an audition, see ya.
Yeah. She doesn't realise until the seriousness of Barbara Hershey, her cardiac condition, she doesn't realise how much of a needy person she is until the moment with her mum, and then the seriousness of she realises how much she needs Barbara Hershey's friendship, and that helps her realise how needy she is.
Yes.
And so she manipulates Barbara Hershey into breaking up with the doctor. But then Barbara Hershey asks the doctor out on a date.
When?
We should catch up for dinner next week.
Oh, that was just a nice... No, that was
another sharing.
No.
It's another sharing.
Nah.
Yep.
No. Incorrect. Yeah.
So it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's well acted by both of the mains.
It's nothing
and most
overly
of the minors.
special.
It just has a great song as well.
Yeah. Speaking of the song,
yes,
that is the cultural impact.
Yes.
That's basically it.
It didn't launch anyone. Mayim Bialik?
Yeah, it launched her. Wind Beneath My Wings won the Grammy for Record of the Year and Song of the Year.
Oh, okay.
And the film was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Art Direction. Not the song. Interesting. That I found. I kind of want to look that up, but I won't. I
don't feel like art direction. Like, was it a particularly good-looking movie?
I think there was lots of different bits of it. Like there was the big house, the beach house, the stages, that apartment, her apartment. That's all I can think of. A beach. Another beach.
Yeah, two beaches.
Yeah, the song was number 1 on Billboard Hot 100.
For a few weeks, I imagine.
And on the AFI's list of 100 best songs from movies, it is number 44.
Wow. Interesting. That would include every musical ever made.
Every other musicals as well.
Yeah.
Lifetime made a remake of the film, which aired on January 22, 2017.
A remake?
Yeah, cool. And Idina Menzel played Bette Midler's part.
Oh, okay.
The film includes the songs Wind Beneath My Wings and Glory of Love, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, right.
They were going to do a musical stage adaptation, but it never got off the ground. Oh, no, it did. But it didn't make it big. It didn't get to Broadway.
Okay.
They planned a sequel because there's a book. A sequel called Beaches 2, I'll Be There.
Okay.
And it was going to
be another song there for sure.
Barbara Eden was going to be in that. I Dream of Jeannie. That never happened.
Yeah. Nor should it have.
No. It's referenced in The Simpsons. They do that. Krusty gets cancelled, and they do that Krusty comeback special.
Yeah.
And he does a duet with Bette Midler singing "Wind Beneath My Wings."
Yep.
It's referenced in Will and Grace in an episode where Jack meets somebody at was it a bookstore? Yeah. And he goes, "Our hands touch as we reach for a copy of The Making of Beaches."
That's barely a reference.
I know. In Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt,
Yep.
it's referenced Titus, the gay friend, sensing a theme, wants to watch it, followed by Beaches 2, She's Still Dead.
It is. Yeah, sorry.
The film is apparently famously referenced in a Seinfeld episode where Jerry has a girlfriend and they watch the movie and she's like reduced to tears.
Yep.
And he has no reaction.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
That would have been me.
And you know what? That's about it. Okay, the cultural impact is the song, really.
Yep.
So, other than that, it's very iconic. It's an iconic Bette Midler movie. It's maybe now her second most iconic role. I feel like her most iconic role is now Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT, why does Hector Elizondo wear a neck brace in Beaches?
Yeah.
Right? And I've said this a couple of times. I don't think the robots are close to taking us over. All right? If they are, I'm ready, and I'm apologising to any machines listening right now.
When I buy my robot vacuum, I will be thanking it.
ChatGPT says, Hector Elizondo's character John Pierce wears a neck brace in the 1988 film Beaches for a specific narrative purpose. I'm like, okay, here we go. In the movie, the character John Pierce is a successful attorney who is struggling with health issues, specifically a neck injury. The neck brace serves as a visual representation of his physical ailment and also symbolises the challenges he faces in his personal and professional life.
John Pierce is the name of John Hurt's character.
Then I said, he's only in one scene. ChatGPT said, I apologise for any confusion earlier. Upon further review, it appears that Hector Elizondo's character John Pierce only appears in one scene in the movie Beaches.
Jesus Christ.
While the reason for his character wearing a neck brace in this specific scene might not be explicitly stated in the film, it's possible that the brace was used as a narrative device to imply a past injury or add a unique characteristic to the character. Then I said, who's John Hurd's character in Beaches? In the 1988 film Beaches, John Hurd portrays the character Michael Essex, a successful, charming, and somewhat unscrupulous attorney.
What?
Michael is a close friend and confidant of the character Hilary Whitney, played by Barbara Hershey.
I don't think ChatGPT's seen Beaches.
The character of Michael plays a significant role in the narrative as he is involved in a complicated and tumultuous relationship with Hilary, which adds drama and depth to the storyline.
Can you ask ChatGPT if it's seen Beaches? Have you seen Beaches?
Have you watched Beaches, the 1988 movie? I don't have the capability to watch movies.
Well, seems like that. For the record, Best Original Song at the Oscars that year was won by Let the River Run from Working Girl, music and lyrics by Carly Simon.
Oh, okay.
Calling You from Baghdad Cafe, music and lyrics by Bob Telson was nominated. And so was Two Hearts from Buster, music by Lamont Dozier and lyrics by Phil Collins. There's only 3 nominees. Couldn't you just do a 4th nominee?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Lamont Dozier wrote most of the Motown hits.
Two
He's 1/3.
hearts beating in just one mind.
Yeah. He wrote about he was 1/3 of the famous writing duo at the Motown Studios. Shall we give some awards?
What do you think? Yeah. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It was also, so it grossed. It budget of $20 million. It only made $57 million.
Wow.
It was the 19th highest grossing movie of 1989.
That's a shit year for movies.
Because it was released like late December 88. The number one movie in 1989 was Batman.
Yeah,
which made $251 million.
Yeah.
And Wind Beneath My Wings was the 7th highest selling song of 1989. Just above Girl You Know It's True by Milli Vanilli. And under Cold Hearted by Paul Abdul had a good year that year.
Michael Jackson at the top of that.
Look Away by Chicago. And then My Prerogative by Bobby Brown. Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, some awards.
Yes.
The Andy Millman from Ricky Gervais's Extras Worst Extra Award.
Mm-hmm.
After the play, they have an after party.
Yes, they do.
And there is a guy in the green room telling everyone how shit the play was.
Yeah. I thought that was weird. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the guy at that party who walks in with a case of wine who looks like Little Richard.
Yeah,
who was then at the wedding.
He's a friend. Or a part of the
Dorothy,
company.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the impact of this movie is for gays everywhere. Well, you kind of skipped over that bit. You referenced it. It's in Will and Grace, and it's
Will and Grace and
the gay friend of Kimmy Schmidt. But the gays are what's keeping this on streaming. Let's be honest.
The gays
keeping Bette going.
Hello. She wouldn't have a career without us.
All right. So, yes, the guy that looks like Little Richard that just pops up randomly.
I wrote the piano player at the very start. You know, when she leaves and then he's like, Cece. I don't know. I just thought it was shit.
Oh, when she was a kid?
No. When, at the very, very start, when she gets that letter and then she goes.
Oh, yeah.
He just looked weird to me. I also wrote the flight desk woman at the airport.
She's like, fog. It's fog. Planes don't land when there's fog.
But not
there's fog.
Not the woman that's like, can you check if it's cleared? The woman that's just like, I am sorry, but flights cannot land in fog.
Yeah.
It was very shit.
I had another one, and it's a common thing. The guy, when she goes back to get together with John Pierce, the attorney that marries Hillary, that's played by Hector Elizondo.
Shut up. Yeah.
No, John Pierce played by John
Heard. Yep.
The dog is going nuts. The point of the dog, I don't get. The dog is going nuts, and like 3 people walk past the apartment building and don't even react.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a Great Dane losing its mind. You are shitting yourself in real life.
Yeah. I wrote the woman at the sales counter. I wrote her for worst extra. Only
Move there
because
if you need.
The woman who played her was in a league of their own. She played Betty Spaghetti.
Yeah, Betty Spaghetti. Yeah.
But I reckon it's the guy at the party that's talking shit about the play.
Yeah, because that's like, you're invited into the green room, mate. Like, be a little bit appreciative of being invited to the party.
Can we just write the play as the shit extra?
Player's worst line.
Industry. Yeah.
Best extra, named after Estelle Reiner. I'll have what she's having.
I wrote Iris Myandowski. the girl at the start that walks on her hands. Which will come up
queer.
Yeah, that'll come up in the next award, I think.
I wrote Marge, the homeless
I wrote Marge
woman
as well,
who just faints.
And then I wrote the guy at her audition that sings "Que Sera Sera."
Yeah, he's great.
Que Sera.
What about the old man? What's his name? That has the kiddie review.
Yeah,
because he also is sitting next to that Hollywood agent, like watching the girls and looking at the Hollywood agent, going, "Hey, hey." I think it's Que Sera. The Que Sera
so
guy.
Good.
Yep.
He gave it everything. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Friend of Dorothy again.
The crying moment, I didn't cry.
I didn't think you would.
When she died, because one, I don't cry at sad things. That's my sociopathic tendency.
Mm-hmm.
And I also already knew she was going to die. Because this movie's been out 35 years.
35 years.
And
it's
I am
iconic for her dying.
aware of popular culture.
Yeah.
But I did moisten in her last version of The Glory of Love.
Was it when she did the wave? That's the story of... Was it that bit? Exactly.
And she looked at Victoria.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, now she's going to be a mum and they're going to like each other and it's happy. So I moistened. That's named after Ben Stiller in There's Something About Mary, the cryingest moment.
Mm-hmm.
The Halle Berry X-Men, What Happens to Frogs When They Get Struck by Lightning.
Same thing as everything else.
Worst line. I
wrote hand walking queer.
Yep, odd. I wrote when they're in the store and they're having their fight and Bette calls Hillary, you stupid little witch.
I wrote, you're so talented, I can't even yodel.
Yeah, I did too. Do you know why?
Because what has yodeling got to do with anything?
Yes, but also it's a running joke that Barbara Hershey can't sing, right? Even when they're 11 years old.
Yeah, okay. This
right?
is, yep.
When they're 11 years old, Barbara Hershey tries to sing something and Cece says, well, no, it's not Barbara Hershey. Hillary tries to sing something and Cece's like, don't sing.
Yeah.
Then at Christmas, in Latin, they sing Christmas carols in perfect harmony.
Yeah.
So I can't even yodel. You can sing, bitch.
I also wrote from that same Christmas scene, oh, let's do another carol. Then she says, no, I've had enough. And then she said, I sang all those dreidel songs for you.
Yeah, that's odd.
Just in case you didn't know she was Jewish. I found it really weird, that line.
And isn't there even... There's only one dreidel song.
There's only one song about dreidel.
Dreidel. I don't know how it goes. I'm not going to offend any people that I've probably already
Yeah.
I also wrote, when she faints from
I don't know
having
what to do.
cardiac stuff on the stairs at the courtroom,
Oh, yes.
and then her presumably boss says, maybe she's diabetic or something.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What, give her a lolly snake and that might fix her?
Yeah. Who are you, the clothes police? I read at one point, but...
Do we give it to a bad line or a line that doesn't fit the character? Because I Can't Even Yodel doesn't fit earlier scenes and the character.
I mean, yodeling is hard.
That's true.
I can yodel.
But can
I yodel?
Can Bette probably yodel not?
Yeah, because she, in Big Business, she kicks them in the little leahy hoos.
Yeah, she
so
does.
She can yodel.
She can yodel. She can also probably play pool, I reckon, Bette Midler. She just has to pretend for this movie that she can't, so John Hurd can...
because she grew up in clubs.
Click, click.
She grew up in those types of places.
Yep. So what are we giving the worst line to?
I almost want to say...
Hand-walking queer?
Hand-walking queer.
I can't make a TikTok
because
out of that.
She says it a few times, and then at the end, and then she's at the ACLU, and then Bette comes in and goes, guess who got the lead in that weird play?
Yeah.
She goes, the hand-walking queer. Wah!
Yeah. I can't make that into a TikTok, though.
Weird.
Anyway. The I'm Your Father most iconic scene.
The song. / when she dies.
Yeah.
That's it. Like...
Them standing together on a beach.
No, I also...
Them taking the photos when they were kids.
And it's, as the song starts, and then they're sitting on the beach, and then to go to the funeral. The song.
Okay.
The montage that is the song is the most iconic scene.
All right. Done.
I also... It could have a better name than Beaches.
What?
Well, what's Beaches got to do with it? They met at a beach. She died at a beach. There's a beach house.
Beach house. I feel like
it's not like every year they go to the beach.
I feel like in the book they spend more time at beaches.
Yeah, you could have called CC and Hillary or something.
No, that's a shit name.
CC and Dry. I don't know.
Cardiomyoinfarction.
Could have called it Wind Beneath My Wings.
Nah.
Could have called it Glory of Love.
Doesn't matter. Titles don't matter when it's Bette Midler on the poster.
Oh, speaking of titles.
All right, because we've reviewed Beaches this week for Two Drink Cinema, we are going to do our top 5 movie songs. Now, from last week...
God, this is tough.
We've had a bit more of a discussion about the criteria.
Yep. 1, they have to be a song.
Yep. They have to be in a movie.
2.
So, I have suggested, and I think this is where we landed...
Yep.
That it is a song that is written for the movie.
Uh-huh.
And it is a song that you hear that stands on its own.
Yep.
But also when you hear it, you think almost straight away about the movie.
Okay.
Okay? So
I just changed mine.
So one that I gave as an example that didn't quite make it. Then I went for quality of movie and quality of song to get to my top 5.
Yeah.
Because Ghostbusters stands alone as a song, and you automatically think of the
song's
movie,
shit.
but the song is not as good.
Yeah.
Right? But something like Don't You, brackets, Forget About Me,
Yeah.
brackets, you hear the song a lot,
Yeah.
but you don't go, oh, Breakfast Club.
Some people do.
Some people do. I do not.
But I actually don't even like the movie. So,
So, shall we do it?
okay.
You can go first this week.
I just changed my order. My number 5 is Footloose.
Oh my God, me too.
I just changed it. I can't see notes, everybody. I did have something else there that I'll give an honourable mention to when we get there. But my number 5 is Footloose.
Written
It's
for
a
the
good
movie.
song, written for the movie. And of course, you're going to think of the movie because it's the name of the movie.
Yes, stands on itself as a song, and if you've ever been to a wedding, you've danced to it.
Very iconic.
The
you're
new
not-
version,
yeah.
not Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
Not the Kevin Bacon version, the new
the
one.
non-Zac Efron
Yeah,
version.
that didn't quite have Zac
The
Efron in
Julianne Hough version. So should I say my 4 now?
Yeah, because I already said my 5.
Yeah. So my 4 is Lose Yourself
Okay.
by Eminem from
Eminem.
the movie 8
You
Mile.
do think of the movie 8 Mile.
It's a very good song. It's a rap song that won an Oscar. It's got to be good.
Eminem just slips in. One thing I said was I discounted a couple of songs because I didn't include movies for musicians. So like Prince's
Okay.
Purple Rain
Yeah.
or like any of the Beatles movies. Partly
Okay.
because the movies are shit.
Yeah.
But then I kind of changed those rules.
Right.
Okay. Number 4, I have Wind Beneath My Wings.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Because I don't think it's as good of a song as my top 3.
Okay.
Okay? Except for Fly High,
so high against the sky.
Yep.
So high I almost touch the sky. Anyway, I could go on.
Your number 3?
My number 3 is I Will Always Love You from The Bodyguard.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Iconic.
Iconic.
It wasn't originally written for
The movie.
that movie,
But
but
that
that
version
version was for the movie.
And that version has surpassed anything Dolly did with it.
And it is so iconic that I knew what the song was before I knew who Whitney Houston was.
Correct.
There you go.
Number 3 for me,
Yep.
Lose Yourself.
Oh, okay.
It's a rap song that won an Oscar.
It's got to be good.
Like, it's got to be good. And it is that movie, and that is like, that I think kind of really pushed Eminem into as much into the mainstream as he could be as a rapper. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My number 2 is My Heart Will Go On from Titanic by
Mine
Celine
too.
Dion.
Also mine.
Oh, that's your number 2 as well?
Yeah, that's my number 2 as well.
Okay. Fucking idiot. Look, the song's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous.
The song is massive, and
Still massive now. They use it in clips for sporting games. You know, which they think
Yeah.
it's like everything's better with the Titanic music.
and her song and her heart has gone on. Celine,
Yeah.
as has the movie.
She's not well at the moment, apparently.
My number 2 is My Heart Will Go On.
Okay.
Your number 1.
I have 4 honourable mentions.
Oh, yeah, good.
Ready?
Yep.
Wind Beneath My Wings.
Yep.
Time of My Life. Dirty Dancing.
Oh, yeah, good one.
9 to 5. From 9 to 5.
I have that in my honourable mentions as well.
And just for the family, I've got Shallow from A Star Is Born.
I had another one just pop into my head and then just pop out of my head.
I would also say
Honourable
I Put a
mentions.
Spell on You from Hocus Pocus. By Bette Midler.
Not written for the movie.
Singing in the Rain from Singing in the Rain.
My honourable mentions, 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. Staying Alive
Yeah, okay.
from Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Christmas is All Around from Love Actually.
Yeah.
Iconic. And Blaze of Glory from Young Guns 2.
Yes,
The song
okay.
is great.
It is a great
The movie
song.
is not great.
Yeah.
But it is a moment in that movie.
I'll also give a shout out to White Christmas That was from a movie.
Yeah, that is iconic.
Okay, shall I say my number one?
Yes.
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah. I didn't think of it because you don't hear it often. But it is an iconic song that does fully stand on its own.
Yeah.
Separate to the movie. Mm-hmm. My number one, I Will Always Love You.
Okay, good.
Yep.
I honestly couldn't think of what else it was.
My number one, Queen of the Night. No. I Will Always
Number
Love
one, It's Christmas in Heaven.
You. From
Meaning
The
of
Bodyguard.
Life. Every sperm is sacred.
There's lots more.
There's so many, Lee.
So many
like
more.
some of the other ones on that AFI Top 100.
Well, I looked at the list and it had like Chariots of Fire by Vangelis. I'm like, that's not a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, As Time Goes By, Sing in the Rain, Moon River, White Christmas,
Yep.
Mrs. Robinson,
Oh, yeah, Mrs.
When
Robinson.
You Wish Upon a Star,
Eye of the Tiger.
The Way We Were,
Um,
Thank Heaven for Little Girls. I mean,
there was another couple that I thought about.
what's another random one on this list?
Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake was written for the movie Trolls.
Yeah.
But I've not seen the movie, and the movie is...
Happy
by Pharrell Williams
yeah.
was written for Despicable Me. The Glory of Love by Peter Cetera was for The Karate Kid Part 2. I should have probably put that in because it was part of the music for my wedding. According to Billboard, the number 57 movie song of all time is Duran Duran's A View to a Kill.
Oh.
Even though in the whole rest of this list, there is not a single other Bond song.
God. According to the AFI,
Yeah.
the number 57 song is The Windmills of Your Mind from the Thomas Crown Affair in 1968
Oh, God.
by Noel Harrison.
The number 52, according to Billboard, is Beyonce featuring Slim Thug, Check on It, in The Pink Panther.
Surely then that's just based off sales.
One spot below Wind Beneath My Wings.
Oh.
Phil Collins' Two Hearts in Buster.
Fame. But you don't hear that often. Flashdance.
But also, like,
There's
that's
a
got
lot of
Flashdance
songs.
and Maniac.
Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. Yeah,
And
true.
in this list, this Billboard list, it has like 5 songs from the Stayin' Alive soundtrack. So they're not that particular, I don't think.
Number 69, On the Good Ship, Lollipop.
But some of these songs just also aren't great songs.
No.
Don't Let Go by En Vogue was in a movie.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, great song. Was in the soundtrack of the crime film Set It Off, starring Jada Pinkett, Queen Latifah, and Vivica A.
Oh,
Fox.
you know what I could have done?
What?
Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
I did think about that. Seal's Kiss from a Rose was in Batman Forever.
Oh, that's true. That's a good song.
La Bamba in La Bamba. So there's
Iris by
lots
the
of
Goo Goo Dolls.
songs. But
There's so many songs. We could talk about this for hours.
I very almost put The Power of Love from Back to the Future.
I thought you might have.
But the others are more iconic and I think more related to the movie.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of iconic movies with music, what are we doing next week?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's our top 5 for movies. And next week we are, let me just get up the notes, even though I probably know it off the top of my head. Let me see. Yeah, that's what it is. We are doing, this was like the song from this was like number 55 on that top 65 Billboard songs of all time from movies. Mm-hmm. You're the one that I want from Greece.
Oh.
I thought your number 1 on that list was going to be the Grease Megamix.
No, I did think about Xanadu.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I did think about You Can't Stop the Music from You Can't Stop the Music, the Village Movie people, but we said it wasn't allowed to be movies about musicians.
Yeah, even though we both put in The Bodyguard. And
There's exceptions
8 Mile.
because of people, all right? People get exceptions.
So we're doing Grease next because
Okay.
it is 45 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah, and Varley, Olivia Newton-John.
Charlie ONJ.
6 degrees from that to that. John Travolta to Bette Midler or Barbara Hershey.
Or
Barbara
John
Hershey,
Hurd.
Natalie Portman, and Mila Kunis in Black Swan.
Yep.
John Hurd, Macaulay Culkin, Catherine O'Hara, Kieran Culkin, that asshole uncle, or Joe Pesci or Daniel Stern.
That's true. There's other people in that.
Were Billy Crystal
John
and John
Travolta
Travolta
done?
in a movie together?
Not that I can think of.
Hang on, didn't you say John Travolta and Robin Williams were in a movie together? Old Dogs.
So there you go.
No,
We just
so-
do what we did last week, but
No, well, what we can do is... Oh, that's long.
well, no, you go. Bette Midler was in.
Yeah.
Thing.
I was thinking about it a totally different way. So you went Bette Midler to
Peter Coyote
to
Robin
Williams
to
John
John
Travolta. I was going to do it way longer.
Yeah, I was trying to
And
think
I
of
was
other
going-
Olivia Newton-John movies, but other than Xanadu and A Mum for Christmas, I can't really think of any.
I was trying to get from John Travolta to Daniel Stern through Billy Crystal. So
Okay,
John
that's
Travolta,
very
Robin
strange.
Williams, then Robin Williams and Billy Crystal were in Father's Day. And then Billy Crystal, Daniel Stern, Macaulay Culkin, or John Hurd to Beaches. So they both work. Yours is just one step quicker and one higher on the A-list movie stars.
It's like there's another way.
John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John.
Uma Thurman,
Glee.
Bruce Willis.
Why? John
Pulp
Travolta
Fiction.
in Pulp Fiction. I said Olivia Newton-John and you said Uma Thurman. And I'm like,
Oh,
ONJ is not in Pulp Fiction.
well, what if John Travolta was in Hairspray
Yeah.
with Michelle
Written by Mark
Pfeiffer,
Shyman. Oh, yeah.
who was in
Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, Batman Returns. Michelle
Christopher
Pfeiffer,
Walken.
Coolio's Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah. No, we've done it.
We've done it twice.
There might be another way.
Jump in the Facebook group if you think there's a better way. But we are watching Grease next week for Two Drink Cinema. So get onto that for the 45th anniversary. And that is our last episode for November before we go all Christmassy with
Ooh.
3 Christmas movies I've not seen before.
Oh, that's going to be good.
So that will be very interesting. Thanks for listening to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. Hit subscribe on your podcast app or like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. If your podcast app allows it, do a rating and review and click the link below to send us a tip to come up with some tastier cocktails.
Yay.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks for listening to Two Drink Cinema. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast was produced and pay our respects to elders past and present.
If you'd like to support the podcast, either leave a tip or become a member for early access to these episodes by using the link in the show notes.
Join the Facebook group for more chat about the movies we review and make sure you follow us on the socials to keep up to date.
Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review on your podcast app.
Happy viewing and drink responsibly.